Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a probably long overdue Lakers Outsiders podcast. It's been a while. We haven't been quite as regular with the holidays and whatnot, but hopefully we will get back to that schedule. We're back tonight, honestly, because we were all very frustrated with the loss. Lakers lose to the Knicks 119-112. They probably worst loss of the season. It was only the Knicks' 10th win of the year. I believe they're 10-29 now. Just a lot of frustration from that game. So we hopped on here. Joining me as always is Hani. Hani, I will ask you first. What's your one-word description of that game?
I've never been great with vocabulary, so bad. It was bad.
Hopefully you are a little more eloquent as we go on in this podcast.
No promises.
And also joining us is Kyle. Kyle, you have a low bar to clear, but what is your one-word description of that game?
Demoralizing.
Much better word.
Yeah.
Also a much sadder word.
But a slightly more accurate word. Or more precise, I should say.
Wait, can I change my word?
Nope.
No.
Please?
Nope. You had your moment.
I mean, it's just all around demoralizing when you get beat by the Knicks while you're playing at home. And it would be less bad if it was just like one player. They had one guy take over the game and really shine for them. But they had 7 guys in double digits, and some of these guys I've never heard of before. So it's horrible.
You were asking who the hell is Luke Cornett during the game too?
Yes. Oh yes. Very much so.
It took me a couple games to get used to him, but yeah, definitely not someone I heard of before this year.
I had to listen to part of the game on ESPN LA radio because I was driving, and according to them, Luke Cornett has a computer science degree.
Dope. All right.
Okay, I believe Luke Cornett is a computer scientist, IT guy more than I believe he is an NBA player. But here we are.
He went to Vanderbilt, according to my cursory Google search, to find out if he was real.
Yeah, I mean, it's a word it's a word we've mentioned. It's a word I tweeted, I think, in the first half, but frustrating is what I'd say. This to me was the most frustrating game of the season. I don't know. A lot of those turnovers were just like making me want to rip my hair out. Like, what are you guys thinking? We're going to talk about a lot of the main figures. The one who's drawn the most attention of late, and not necessarily good attention, Brandon Ingram. By counting stats, had a decent night, 21 points. He shot 8 of 21, but was 5 of 5 at the line, actually. 9 rebounds, 3 assists, was a -2, which was the best plus-minus of the starters, but struggled down the stretch. And as has often been the case with the Lakers this season, fourth quarter down the stretch kind of turned into ISO ball, and he didn't convert. Hani, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on Ingram's game tonight, and I guess how he's performed with LeBron hurt?
The word that you described the game with is kind of what I would describe Ingram with. He's frustrating because you can see the little flashes of potential, like that Kings game. The Kings game where he took over during the fourth quarter, and he was so brilliant, and he won them a game. And you looked at it, and you're like, this is what Brandon Ingram can be. And then he has games like this, or like the last game against the Thunder, where he'll just fall apart, and he'll keep making bad decisions, and he'll turn the ball over, and his head won't be in the game, and you have to wonder, like, is he going to be a good player? Obviously, like, I try to stay as grounded as possible after every Lakers loss, because it's very easy to get into this spiral where you're like, everything sucks, every player sucks, trade them all now for nothing.
Well, if you were on Lakers Twitter tonight, they're all worthless. So
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
have to worry about that.
I don't think you can point at 2 or 3 games and be like, all right, Ingram is awful, or even point at this whole season where he's kind of been the young player on the Lakers that struggled the most adjusting to playing next to LeBron. But at the same time, you hope to see a little bit more those flashes become more of a consistent thing, and that just hasn't been the case. And like even tonight, like, he has his moments where he's attacking the rim hard and getting an and one. I think he had like 3 and ones this game, so he was playing aggressive. But then all of a sudden, he'll have 3 possessions in a row where he pounds the air out of the ball and takes an awful shot and gets blocked, or has somebody alter a shot at the rim or whatever. It's just really frustrating to see, like, whether, and like, I don't think it's even entirely his fault. I think the Lakers coaching staff and other Lakers players aren't always putting him in the best position. And but that's the case both when he's playing with LeBron and without him. But at the same time, it's just really frustrating to see, like, you can tell he has all this potential. He can do so many different things. He can be a Swiss Army knife, but it just doesn't. He doesn't produce as often as he needs to.
So my big thing, and this applies to really every player on the Lakers right now, and really Luke as well. This team spent the entire offseason, the entire preseason, in the first, I'm not sure how many games we played, 30, 35 games, building an offense around LeBron. LeBron's injured, and tonight Kuzma's out. You're putting a lot of responsibility on Ingram. I thought I wasn't nearly as frustrated with Ingram as I was with some of the other guys tonight. He kind of had a typical Ingram game. He only attempted 2 3-pointers. 5 for 5 at the line is, considering all the criticism he's taken, it's about as good as you can get. I mean, the Lakers shot 15 of 20 at the line tonight.
Yeah, that's the most depressing part of this game. It's the first time they've ever shot free throws pretty well, and they still lost.
Have you looked? I mean, you guys might have looked. Have you seen how many free throws the Knicks had?
Yeah.
They were 34 of 41 tonight. They outscored the Lakers at the free throw line by 19 points in a 7-point game.
Yeah.
The Lakers and Knicks shot the same from 3-point range, 11 of 37.
Yeah.
Which isn't good.
No.
By the way. For those who aren't good at math, that's bad.
It's not great, Bob. Between the free throws and the Lakers committing 16 turnovers to the Knicks 6, those are the types of things that, I mean, the Knicks outscored the Lakers. No, actually, I had that wrong. The Lakers actually outscored the Knicks on turnover points, but still, just those little things add up. Especially right now, the team has no margin for error, really, with Kuzma and LeBron out and Rondo out. We saw how important he was in that Warriors game, or could be. Kyle, I'll just kind of ask you the same question. I mean, what did you see from Ingram tonight? Were you frustrated? Were you encouraged? I guess what's just kind of the sense you have on Ingram's game tonight?
Really, I was just frustrated. And it wasn't just tonight for him. It's the inconsistencies out of him. And I know he's still, this is his 3rd year. He's still young. He's still a raw talent. But it's frustrating not to see any sort of consistency from him. Even with all of the weight on him, like I think it was Hani said, or no, Jacob said, with LeBron out, LeBron and Kuzma out, Ingram's probably our best scoring scorer on the team, on the court. And I'm starting to lose patience with him, and it's getting bad because I love Ingram. Liked him in the draft process, was ecstatic when the Lakers drafted him, and I still want to view him through those glasses. But I feel like it's getting to the point where I just I I don't like what I see from him anymore. And typically, I like his defensive effort. I like what he does on the defensive end. Tonight, I didn't see that. It was just a super frustrating game all around, but with Ingram in particular.
So coming into tonight, well, really, I guess this season as a whole, Ingram had a 23.2% usage percentage. It was 29% tonight. He shouldered a lot more of the load, which was to be expected. Wasn't crazy efficient shooting the ball, like we said. Only a 45% true shooting percentage. Barely had a positive net rating. Wasn't really that great defensively. So I'm stuck somewhere between being frustrated with how he played, but also, I don't know. I also tweeted this. Like, I realize the Lakers are without their top two scorers and Rondo, and I shouldn't be mad at them, but like, this is considering the expectations we had this year, this is really frustrating. But I mean, like I said, at the same time, how many other teams in the league not named the Golden State Warriors could survive losing their top two leading scorers?
None of them. And that's a conversation I've had with a few different people at this point. Is when you lose arguably two of your best players in a stretch of games in early January, it may not seem like these games are super important, like the January games that aren't going to matter when playoff time comes. But if we lose too many of these January games, we might not get playoffs at all. And the last team that didn't make the playoffs that had LeBron James on it was his second year in the league, and they were 42-40. Like, I try to keep calm and understand that it's the middle of the regular season and these types of things happen, but every single win is important, especially at home.
Yeah, that was what was particularly frustrating tonight, was that it was at home. Yeah, and I mean, you think LeBron has shown patience now. You're testing him if we're getting into March and even maybe April and we're not in the playoff picture.
How many people do you think he stabbed in the locker room with that giant safety pin on his lapel?
Maybe not many yet tonight, but they keep playing like this.
And you mentioned LeBron's patience. It goes a little farther than that. I remember the report at the beginning of the season when the Lakers struggled to open things out that Magic was upset with Luke. Like, how many more of these games, injuries or otherwise, can the Lakers have before Magic finally just has to do something about that? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's a fair argument. It's not one that I really want to entertain just personally, because I don't think firing Luke is a solution. But I mean, you're right. This was, I don't even know how long it was, maybe a month and a half ago, that it was Luke who was potentially on the chopping block. Now the Lakers are 1-4 without LeBron. I don't know how much leeway he gets without LeBron, but even if he does, when LeBron comes back, he's going to be expected to win again. Which kind of leads to the other thing we were going to talk about, was Luke. He's taken he's been the focus of a lot of complaints from Lakers fans. Hani, is it fair or foul that a lot of fans are frustrated with him during these last 5 games, really, without LeBron?
I think we as a group have been pretty consistent on how we talk about Luke. Luke has a lot of flaws. This is his third year coaching the Lakers, second, third.
Yeah, third.
He's a very young coach. He makes a lot of mistakes. His lineup sometimes leave you scratching your head. The way he rotates his players leave you scratching your head. He's not really an X's and O's guys. They're not running incredible set plays and getting efficient offense out of it. At the same time, this is rant number 1 of the evening. I just don't understand why. I don't understand the feeling that people are like, you got to fire Luke and that's what's going to solve your problems. Number 1, if you do that, you're putting Brian Shaw as your head coach. And I don't know what you expect out of Brian Shaw other than rapping scouting reports.
Cheyenne Bra. Go on.
This is a fair criticism of the Lakers and Luke, that their coaching staff as a whole, their assistant coaches, leave nothing to be desired. And I guess it's good for Luke because you can't fire him because you don't have a good coach to take over for him.
Yeah, let's see we're in there.
And then the other part of it is, after this season, after you're done with your interim and you want to hire another head coach, who are you going to hire that's going to be better than him? There's nobody on the coaching market that I can look at and be like, that guy is 100% better than Luke, and that's how the Lakers are going to get better. I don't know if Luke is the right coach for the Lakers. There's no way for me to know that. I'm not an expert, and I wouldn't trust any expert who would say one way or the other. I just don't think there's a viable alternative right now, or that it would make sense for a team that's still in the playoffs, that's missing its best player, it's missing maybe its second best player, it's missing maybe its second best playmaker, and be like, all right, so the coaching is the problem. That's why they gave up 17 offensive rebounds to the Thunder and lost because of that. That's why they fouled the Knicks 41 times, or whatever, and you fire Luke and all that goes away. I don't get that line of logic at all.
Yeah, I don't. I'm pretty much in step with you on this. Luke's frustrating at times. There's a lot of things, like you said, that just kind of make me scratch my head. He's not out there rebounding the ball or giving up, or not rebounding the ball, I guess. He's not out there sending the Knicks to the line 41 times. I just, some of these things, it's just like, I realize you need a scapegoat. For whatever reason, for the Lakers, it's been Luke. I guess now that D'Angelo and Randall are gone, we switched to Luke as being the scapegoat.
KCP's been playing too well for him to be scapegoated, so we got to go to Luke.
And the other point you made has been my big point too, is that you can't fire Luke without some type of replacement in mind, and there's nobody in the open market that's realistically better than Luke. Your only bet is to try to lure somebody away or quote unquote trade for a coach. And I mean, even that's not very realistic. Those situations are very rare, and you have to have teams agree to it and whatnot. So, I don't know. I think there are things that Luke does that is frustrating. I'm also not really sure what you expect of him right now with Rondo, LeBron, and Kuzma all out. Two of those being kind of ball handler point guards. He's down. Ingram and Lonzo pretty much ran the show tonight. Lance actually played really well, I thought, aside from maybe an errant behind the back pass or two, which you just kind of live with Lance. But the fact he's having to play Lance at point guard so much kind of shows how dire the situation is right now. So I'm not really sure what you expect from him when you're missing your top two leading scorers tonight, especially when one of them's LeBron, who, like I said at the beginning, is who you built your whole offense around. It just, like I said, it just feels like at times he's become the scapegoat for the fans who are frustrated. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be frustrated. I'm frustrated. I've said it multiple times.
If somebody had a drinking game for how many times we've said the word frustrated in this podcast so far, I apologize to you and your liver.
I'll drink to that. But yeah, I just think that we should direct our frustrations at really where they're kind of due. And the players tonight, it's not. I mean, I guess you could kind of say it's Luke's fault that they didn't come out in the first quarter, but like the players just weren't even contesting wide open 3-pointers. Like that's not really Luke's fault. It's stuff like that where like maybe a new coach comes in and for 10 games the guys are energized and they start contesting those, but that type of stuff doesn't change with a new coach. Kyle, is there anything you want to add on Luke or anything?
I think the biggest thing with the coaching staff isn't Luke, because I don't think Luke is a net negative coach or anything. I don't think that the Lakers being coached by Luke Walton compared to a league average coach are losing more games than they would with someone else. Like I just don't think of Luke Walton as a negative factor for the Lakers. However, we need a shooting coach. That just needs to happen. Someone to come in, talk to the guys, watch their free throw shots, make them better at doing that kind of shit or stuff. Excuse me. That's how drink frustrated I have been after this loss. But yeah, like I said, it's not Luke Walton's fault that the Lakers straight up didn't come out and guard on 3-pointers at the start of the game. Plus, I think the only alternative for Luke Walton being a coach, because the Lakers would hire within the family, the Lakers' distant family, Magic Johnson might take over as head coach.
Okay, I'm morbidly curious.
I have a little bit too.
You know who would take over as head coach? He's been practicing. Been working on the triangle with his daughter's AAU team.
Oh, no.
Kobe could come in. He would teach him some Mamba mentality.
Could you imagine Kobe coaching LeBron? Oh, no.
Can we bring back the greatest Lakers coach of all time, Bernie Bickerstaff? 4-1.
Hard pass.
No?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, regardless, though, I think the Lakers need maybe some better assistants, some guys to get in there, talk to the guys, because I feel like Luke's a really personable coach, and I think everyone who plays for the Lakers really enjoys his personality, and he kind of inspires them to play a little bit better when things are getting tough. His rotations might not be the best. His playbook might not be the best, but I feel like the guys really connect with him.
Go ahead, honey.
All right. I think this is it's less a Luke Walton problem. This is like an organizational failure, right? Like Luke was hired as a guy to develop and rebuild. Then they got LeBron, so now it's a win now situation, and obviously people get upset because Luke isn't a win now coach or whatever. But the biggest part of this to me, and like Kyle alluded to it, the Lakers are probably, I think definitely the richest organization in the NBA. How can they not hire any decent assistant coaches? Like anybody that like other teams would want to poach away from us.
Exactly.
We haven't had an assistant coach like that since Mike Brown's staff. And that was a very long time ago, and I don't want to revisit that time. But I mean, like legitimately, if you're not, it's a salary cap sport. You can't use your money to get every great player in the league and whatever. But you can definitely use all your money to get great assistant coaches. And that's something that the Lakers haven't done in years. And I think that's a legitimate issue and something that people should be pointing to way more often than they point to whatever shortcomings Luke has, or even whatever shortcomings the players have.
It's like you said, we see about 2, maybe 3 Spurs assistant coaches get interviews just about every year. because they're learning under Pop, and the assistants get those looks because Pop hires the right people. And it's the same with people. There's when Pat Riley was the coach of the Heat, he brought up Spoelstra, who ended up being a really good coach. Fizz was a part of that organization for a long time. And it's like Hani said, we have to go all the way back to Mike Brown, like Phil Jackson, to really see some assistants from the Lakers get poached away or really make a name for themselves after they were with the team. So it's incredibly frustrating that we aren't willing to spend that kind of money or hire those right people on the fringe rather than just knocking out a head coach hire or knocking out a free agency signing.
Yeah, I mean, these are all points I agree with. I won't reiterate them. I know a couple other people. I think Anthony pointed this out in his last Locked on Lakers podcast. It was a point I hadn't really thought of. But really, the Lakers organization as a whole is really young. Magic and Rob are new to their positions. Neither have done anything like this before. And there's a certain amount of naivety to their thinking. Kind of like coming into the season thinking they only need JaVale as a true center and they'll play small ball the rest of the way. Stuff like that where sometimes you have to learn the hard way. They got they got lucky that Tyson Chandler was bought out. So, yeah, I think maybe I hope at least this is kind of that situation because all of the money the Lakers have coming in, whether it be the TV deal, revenue, jersey sales, whatever money they have coming in is more than enough that they should be able to go to the best available assistants, the best shooting coaches, the best whatever, and say whatever you're making, we'll pay you more than that to come live in LA and work for the Lakers. And I agree, those are the types of things that I'm more frustrated by than anything Luke has done or probably will do. Also, unfortunately, that's probably not something that's going to change in season.
Right.
And I don't think it should change in season because that's too volatile.
Your best bet would be that maybe they hire some type of shooting coach. Even then, I don't even know if that's something that they would make public. They might bring somebody in just to work with the team. But I don't know. I mean, tonight they shot 15 of 20 at the line. Maybe the sign-up sheets worked.
That's so – I don't want to get into that and how much I hate that.
We'll kind of close on this. Is this the low point of the season, Hani?
God, I hope so. I don't think I can handle this getting worse. We personally talked about this after the loss to the Thunder, but we're like, I think all of us expected the Lakers to get blown out, and we were still just upset at how they lost that game because it felt so winnable. This feels so much worse because this is a game that we expected them to win, even with all the injuries. Although, I give them the benefit of the doubt that it's very difficult to completely rechange how your team plays when LeBron James isn't playing anymore. But yeah, I really hope this is the low point because it's very hard to get lower than lose to the Knicks at home bad. And I hope that I don't see that in my lifetime.
Kyle, is this the low point of the season? I'll just ask you the same question.
If it isn't, then I need to get out my Brooklyn D'Angelo Russell jersey. And
I have a Brooklyn T-shirt I should have wore for the podcast.
2010 games in a row, boys.
You look at not only losing to the Knicks at home, which by itself is just bad, but Rondo is out, Kuzma's out, LeBron is out. Ingram was out for part of the first quarter. He had a bit of an injury scare. Everyone just played really bad tonight, and we kind of clawed back into it, but that was more so New York trying to New York it. So, yeah, it's far and away the low point of the season, and if it gets any lower, I'm gonna bookmark Tankathon again.
Zion, here we come.
I tweeted out a link to a Zion highlight video tonight, so
Can't believe we're gonna have LeBron in the next LeBron on our team.
Like I'm not super prepared to write like 2019 mock drafts, but if they're gonna get the clicks and we're gonna be up there, I'm ready.
I'm excited about falling in love with a draft prospect on the pros Draft Express videos and then hating his guts with the cons one.
Yeah, one of those types of things.
we will we'll end this show. We haven't done it in a long time because we haven't had a podcast in a long time.
Oh, no.
It's kind of impromptu. I'm finishing up looking at them as you guys are talking.
Wait, before we do this, can I have a couple more rants just to get myself amped up?
You could have one more rant as I look for the fifth and final name.
Okay, I got to choose between two, but I'll go with the more important one. To the gentleman named Seb in our YouTube live comments, no, I do not go to UNLV. How dare you say that to me? I am a graduate of the University of Nevada, which is 14-0 in the number 6 ranked nation in the country, number 5 ranked by the coaches, which I think matters more.
I actually think the media is more important.
I need a live response from Seb in the next minute while Jacob is finishing up.
Oh, I got research. This might be a genuine contest because I don't think Kyle follows college basketball quite as much as Gary did or does.
Oh no.
So, as was the case before, Hani is going to get first crack at these.
Oof.
Okay.
And Kyle will get a chance to I will trust that you don't Google search these while Hani is deliberating them.
I'm just waiting for Seb's response, so I'm chilling.
For those unaware, we did this one other time. It's a who he play for, only it's former Lakers and what college they went to, because Hani is suddenly a avid college basketball fan now that his team is good.
So you admit they're good.
So far. So this is really just Gary and I's way of putting him in his place. We'll start off with a current Laker. Well, I don't know that we did this. We might have. It might be an easy one. Hani, who did KCP play for?
Georgia.
Wow.
Woo!
Stunner.
Let's go.
The first one in the two rounds that we've done this.
No, I got one right last time, I think.
You might have got the last one.
I got Rick Fox right.
Yes.
Seb is confused, Hani. You need to re-explain your rant.
Seb,
No,
I do not
no.
go to UNLV. I hate UNLV. Please stop.
Do not reiterate it. Hani. Who did Carlos Boozer play for?
He's from Alaska, but he played for crap. Duke.
Holy cow, you are 2 for 2.
Yes.
You are going out with a bang. I'm sorry, Kyle. I was not expecting this.
Well, Happy New Year to all the haters
for
and
the
losers.
first one, I had no idea where KCP went, apparently, because I was not thinking Georgia whatsoever. For Boozer, I was deciding between Duke and Florida, and I would have leaned Florida. So I'm 0 for 2.
Hani, Lakers legend, the man who can lock down Kevin Durant. Who did Devin Ebanks play for?
This is awful. Why would you do that? Devin Ebanks.
He was a fairly I don't want to say prominent, but he was a decent college player.
Devin Banks just he screams Syracuse to me. I don't know if that's right though.
I will say close, but it is incorrect. Kyle, do you have any idea where Devin Banks played?
Close to Syracuse, like geography wise, or like
yes, geographically.
NYU.
No. Providence?
No.
Okay.
West Virginia.
That's
Mountain
not.
Mama.
Wait.
I mean, it's like close
It's
on
the
that
East
half of the
Coast.
country.
Okay.
I didn't say how close it was. I just said
half
close.
of the country.
I didn't say how close. I just said it was close.
East of the Mississippi River.
It's in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. Close is whether it's on that side of the Mississippi. We're going way back on this one.
Oh no.
Hani, who did Mark Madsen play for?
Boy. Mark Madsen. I have no idea. Arizona State. Because he likes to party.
That is the right conference. The wrong team. That is your hint, Kyle. Who did Mark Madsen play for?
It's got to be Arizona because of Luke, right?
That is a hell of a. That's very good logic. It is not Arizona, though. It is Stanford.
Okay.
He doesn't strike me as a Stanford fellow.
Last one. Wow. Stereotyping. Last one. This might have come up before during his time in LA. Hani, who did Byron Scott play for?
Oh, Arizona State.
That is a miraculous 3 of 5.
Yes.
Which means I have to set my game up next time.
No one believed in me. All the haters. I had bulletin board material from last time. I studied the game. I worked hard. The man above helped me.
Oh my God. All right. I will bring my A game next time. I'm throwing a shutout next time after that. I'm glad we did that. That was a much better way to leave this podcast than the frustrating mood we were all in coming into this. The good news, the schedule is fairly forgiving coming up for the Lakers. Although it should have been forgiving tonight. But nonetheless, hopefully the Lakers can turn this around. Hopefully this is the low point. And we will they play the Timberwolves on Sunday, I believe.
Poor Colton. That's all I'll say.
We'll try to have a podcast after the Wolves game. I believe it's an early afternoon game on Sunday. We'll try to have a podcast after that for you guys. Hopefully talking about a victory, a badly, badly needed victory. And as I promised, I will do some research and bring my A game for who he play for. I'll have to dig much deeper. You're going to get some obscure players, honey. Just warning you.
More obscure than Devin Ebanks?
Much more obscure. I'm gonna make sure Gary's on here too, because he can laugh at you with me.
I'll laugh at his bum ass Boise State team.
All right. For that, I want to thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a rating. Leave us a review. If you haven't already, put in the review a forfeit or a dare that we will have to do. Not even we.
Yeah,
it's for whoever had the worst record tweeting this season. We would like to apologize to all the fans because this was, I believe, the 6th time we've allowed Dylan to tweet from the account. The Lakers are 0-6.
Plus his tweets are bad.
Yeah, that too.
We are very sorry for that. We have banned him from the account. We changed the login. He's not tweeting anymore. He will be doing this punishment. He is an Ohio State fan. Keep that in mind when you're doing your punishments. Leave us a review with what punishment we should do for him. He'll do it at the end of the year, whether he likes it or not. After what he put us through this season, after what he put us through tonight, it's the least he can do. But yeah, if you haven't, subscribe to us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. And we will be back on Sunday. So for Hani and Kyle, this is Jacob signing off.
Shout out Devin Ebanks.